Now, electric cars have depreciated a lot, but that's a good thing if you're a used car buyer because there are some real bargains out there. Now, one car in particular has depreciated by 87% in just 5 years and now can be picked up for under £10,000. In this video, I'm going to share the 5 best EVs under 10k that have a realistic range of over 200 miles. I will be revealing the best electric cars in these different categories. The newest electric car that you can get for under £10,000. The one that offers the highest range for the price. The best small family electric car. The most efficient electric car in terms of watt hours per kilometre or miles per kilowatt hour. And finally, a luxury electric car which I was shocked at that I found under £10,000. It was a car that's over £70,000 when it was new. And no, it's not a Tesla Model S, so stick around later for that. If you're new on this channel, welcome, I'm Alex. I've bought one of the cheapest EVs in the UK and kept you up to date with what it's like to live with. And if you've been here for a while, you know that I like getting the best value. So let's set the rules on this. These cars have to currently be on sale in the UK for under £10,000. They have to have a realistic range of over 200 miles. And they must not have been written off, and they must not have high mileage. I'm talking over 100,000 miles. I know some of you driving may not drive that much. You might only charge once a week if the car does over 200 miles on a single charge. But I picked 200 miles as a good all-round figure, so you don't have to worry about doing long trips and worry about charging. So let's get straight into it. The first pick is actually the newest EV you can get for under £10,000. There were a few other contenders like the Nissan Leaf and the Renault Zoe, but they've been around for a while now in several generations. Instead, I went with the Vauxhall Corsa E. Now, I know a Corsa sounds a bit boring to some, but hear me out. Now, the Corsa E was actually released in 2020, so it's got much newer technology in it. It's also on the cheaper side of electric cars to ensure, being a small hatchback, and that's why it's first on this list. It's a great overall kind of all-rounder, and it's popular as being one of the first cars that people drive when they first pass their tests as well. And of course, in terms of range, the Corsa is good for a compact electric car. The WLTP range on this is 209 miles, which is realistically going to be around 180, 190 miles, but I'm sure you can reach 200 miles if you drive really efficiently. The battery pack is a 50 kilowatt hour battery pack with 46 kilowatt hour usable batteries. The Corsa E can also actually rapid charge at 100 kilowatts DC, meaning the 0 to 80% top up takes only about 30 minutes. The Corsa E carries over all of the ride comforts, the seating for 4 people, a usable boot and a familiar shape to all of us into their electric models. For a lot of drivers, it's exactly what you need as a first electric car. Plus, the fact it's newer means you get much newer technologies like the Apple CarPlay and newer battery tech, and also safety features that you might not get in older electric cars. Now, amazingly, you can already find a lot of 2020 or even 2021 models for under £10,000, but I've actually found 2022 models you can get as well for under £10,000, which is incredible. The number might even start with as low as 7 when you look online at used models, especially the older ones. If maximum range is your priority, then the MG5 is one of the best cars out there for that. This car offers unbelievable value when you look at it as like miles per pound that you spend in terms of range. MG a few years ago launched the MG5 with the intention of it being the first European electric estate car. Now, the MG5 might not be the most prestigious name or luxurious brand in the world, but it makes up for it with its practicality and range. The newer long-range version has 61.1 kilowatt hour batteries, which is good for about 250 miles according to WLTP, which of course realistically you're looking at 220 maybe on a single charge. Even the standard range version, which is 52 kilowatt hour battery pack, does around 214 miles according to WLTP. When it was new as well, it was much more affordable than other cars that could hit 250 miles on a single charge. And especially now, you can buy one under 10k, which is ideal. What's great obviously is that it's an estate car as well. So it's got a big boot and roomy interior. And it's what some people prefer. They prefer a low slung ride rather than having an SUV. It's also more efficient to drive this kind of car than an SUV because it's more aerodynamically efficient. It may look a bit boring as a design, but it's very practical. When you fold the seats down in the back, there's huge cargo space of around 1,400 litres. And even Cleveland EV, who are of course well known in this space as a specialist EV garage, and they've been using this in their fleet for many years now, and they've hardly had any problems at all with them. In fact, they've done 150,000 miles in the first 3 years of ownership and not had any issues really at all. Now, when it comes to the used car market, these are extremely cheap. I'm talking you could get ones for under £8,000, especially the higher mileage examples. Then of course there's these examples here, which are, you know, £9,000 to £10,000, and it's still under that 10k budget, but you get an exceptional car for what it costs. But it's got active battery thermal management, which is not something that my 10-year-old Nissan Leaf has. So in theory, the batteries will last a lot longer. And also in the winter, it's got a heat pump, so that does not affect the range too much. If you check out my other video on that, about how to drive efficiently in your electric car. So even taxis and in business fleets, the MG5 is a completely dependable solution and is practical and really low running costs because of its efficiency. If you're finding this video useful so far, please hit subscribe, as it greatly helps out me and this channel. It's totally free to do, and I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers so I can provide more value in videos like this in the future. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far, and a reminder again, hit the subscribe button as it really helps out my channel. Thank you, and on to the next one. For the best small family electric car under the £10,000 price range, I've actually gone for something that's familiar with most people. But obviously there are other options like the Hyundai and the Kias that are out there that are very reliable cars as well. But on this case, I've gone with the Volkswagen ID.3 because it's essentially replaced the Golf as an electric version of a small family hatchback. It's also a name that people are familiar with, you know, VW has been around for decades. Now, they specifically designed the ID.3 with the idea of replacing the Golf in mind. When it was launched in 2020, or announced in 2020, VW said it was part of a new phase of cars. They used it as like the VW's third chapter in passenger cars after the Beetle and the Golf. So there's a lot of weight on ID.3's shoulders, but it mostly delivers in what it does. So why is it great for families? Well, like I said, it's a compact hatchback. Now, because of the design and the battery packs underneath and not having an engine up front, they have engineered the space to be as big as possible on the inside, so it's really practical despite being on the smaller side of electric cars. And it's kind of got a minimalist design as well that you might see in a lot of electric cars nowadays. Also, the ID.3 has got a really cool party piece in that it's rear wheel drive, so it's much more fun than other compact and family electric cars that are out there. It's got balanced handling and it's got a tight turning circle as well, which makes it ideal for parking and on family trips. So the ID.3's got several battery options when it came out of the factory new. The most common one you see is the 58 kilowatt hour battery models, which are normally called the ID.3 Pro, and that has an incredible range of around 260 miles according to WLTP. So realistically it'd be about 220 miles. Even the smaller battery versions, the ones with 45 kilowatt hours, can do, you know, 215 miles on WLTP. And if you spend a bit more, you can actually get a 77 kilowatt hour one, which according to WLTP does 330 miles on a single charge, which is incredible. You can actually get 4 miles per kilowatt hour when you drive smoothly on a summer's day. And also importantly for families, it scored 5 stars in the Euro NCAP 2020 safety score. Now, they deliberately priced it as well affordable. Saying that though, it was still over £30,000 when it was new 5 years ago. So they've depreciated it a lot, but that makes it a great opportunity for you now, where a lot of them are under £10,000. And the ones with higher mileage can go even less than 9, for examples you can see here. So yeah, the ID.3 is an ideal car for families. Now later, I have got one of the most incredible bargains that I found for under £10,000. I suspect it won't even be available when this video goes out, but I've taken a screenshot and I'll show you that later. But first, what is the best electric car that has the best efficiency? Despite some controversy around the brand and a certain CEO or director on the company, the Tesla Model 3 still holds up as one of the most efficient electric cars that you can buy. The energy consumption is around 150 watt hours per kilometre, or 4.14, I think it is, miles per kilowatt hour. And that's in real world driving as well. I'm sure people that have achieved are much more than that. And the reason why is because the Tesla Model 3s are actually aerodynamically designed to be as most efficient as possible and have the least drag as possible. It's very important in an electric car to be very smooth as it drives through the air. Now, beyond the numbers, Teslas are known for being very minimalistic. They haven't got much in terms of buttons and controls. It's just one big touchscreen in the middle, which can, you know, put some people off. I actually don't mind it. Plus you get features like the Tesla Autopilot and the driver assist features. Then of course there's the over-the-air software updates, there's YouTube and Netflix apps on the screen as well, which you can stop, and when you're charging you can watch YouTube or Netflix. And then of course there's the supercharger network, which can be found on navigation systems as well. Now, Tesla's supercharging network is something that's genius because it's available in lots of different places. It's seamlessly working with all of the Tesla cars. You don't have to have an app or use your card or anything like that to make it work. And generally it's a little bit cheaper than expensive public charging. Now, Teslas are also known for being extremely reliable. In a recent study, they actually had a 95% success score in terms of reliability in the UK. Plus, they're also really quick, you know, 5.3 seconds in the standard range model and even quicker in the performance models. Now, I'll mention that the prices of these have only recently gone under £10,000. Yes, they can be limited when you try and look for one under £10,000, but if you're specific and maybe go a little bit above that, you might be able to negotiate down, but also think about the savings that you might be having with the efficiency of charging over time, and also the fact that Tesla offer their own insurance policies as well, which generally could be a bit cheaper for you. But of course, there's that whole controversy with the owner, so it does put people off. But you can pick up one for that reason, because they depreciated so much in the last few months. You can actually pick one up for under £10,000, which is really good. Now, finally, let's get onto that electric car that I found that's 87% cheaper than it was when it was new. Now, this car shocked me when I saw it for sale at under £10,000, and it's the Jaguar I-Pace. Yes, you can pick one up for under £10,000. This is JLR's first electric car, and they wanted it to be stylish, luxury, practical, look the part, and also sporty to handle and drive. Maybe it doesn't quite look the part for some people, but anyway, it's honestly incredible that this car is in the same price bracket as the Corsa E that we mentioned earlier. It was a big deal when it was launched in 2018 because it was the 2019 Car of the Year, it was the World Car Design Award, and it was the World Green Car, all awarded at once. Like I say, when it was new, the I-Pace was actually £65,000 to £75,000 or even more in some cases, and it was intended to compete with the higher end Tesla Model S's and X's at the time, and of course the Audi e-tron as well, which was just first off the mark. It's a prestigious SUV with dual motors, over 400 horsepower, and good reviews in terms of handling as well. But best of all, it's got a massive 90 kilowatt hour battery, which is the biggest by far for many cars on this list. And also, because of it being part of the JLR brand, it's good in extreme scenarios, so it can actually wade through 50 centimeters of water. Flash forward to today, and you can pick up a used I-Pace for around £10,000. Some better ones are in the £12,000 to £16,000 range, but it's still dropped enormously in price. Now, the I-Pace's range when it was new, according to WLTP, was 292 miles. But realistically now, it's going to be around 200 or 220 miles. Now, the I-Pace is known for not being very efficient in terms of its miles per kilowatt hour, and primarily it's because it's heavy at 2.2 tons. So you might be able to get 3 miles per kilowatt hour in realistic conditions. But where obviously it shines is the experience of a luxury brand. You get to sit in leather seats and have all of the comfort features and the sporty driving style and that badge on the front, which obviously has changed in recent months with the controversy behind that new rebrand. But anyway, how much did I find this one for? So I found this one online. It's a 2020 model and it costs just £8,800. Unbelievable.